वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीरधारी कृपाम्बुदिर्य तमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we'll continue our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, text 22. So it is such a, like, again, have to use words like this literature, books, huh? But it's such a fascinating dialogue between Krishna and Arjun, and overall the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Such a sweet, loving philosophy, complete package Krishna consciousness. And I don't like it straight jumping into the shloka and straight jumping into the translation and purport. This is this, this is this. I mean, in general, I don't think so. Any one of us like things in life which are very typical, mm, which are very kind of set and all. And Krishna consciousness, I wouldn't want it to be a typical thing. No, no. It is too sweet to be typical, say, or I mean, it is so sweet. Doesn't it is not at all typical actually, ma'am. And yeah, Krishna and his interaction with his devotees, full of adventure, full of excitement, and everything very love based. So understanding the overall message of Bhagavad Gita, which is so universal, it is beyond some textbook understanding. It's beyond textbook understanding. Not like, okay, this shloka, this question, this answer. No, no. Life is not like that. No, we aren't meant to be like that. No, we do not know what is our real potential. How much of potential, as in how much of love for Krishna have we got, and what is our real caliber. You know, we have very untapped our caliber. See, the greatest, the toughest job in this world, in a say, is to motivate someone. Would you say? For myself to be motivated is very difficult. No, for a person to stay motivated, to stay inspired, very difficult, is it not? And what if someone is has a job to motivate someone or the other? Very difficult. To keep someone motivated. To motivate someone for a short bit, for a short thing is one thing, but to keep someone motivated, to keep someone inspired, wow. Huh? And so much so that Krishna is motivating Arjuna to fight, to kill. Huh? And who are there on the other side? Look. So in life, it is tremendous if one can stay motivated, if one can stay inspired, and if one can stay spiritually motivated, spiritually inspired, great. So, see the thing, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna consciousness, Arjuna did not lack in skill. He was not at all lacking in the manner of fighting, how to shot an arrow, how to pull a arrow. No, he was very fine with that. But he was lacking in the willingness, in the purpose, in the desire, in the motive. Why to fight? Why? This why is the biggest thing. Why to do this? Why? Why? Huh? Why me? Why this? Why to fight? So he was very much lacking in inspiration, motivation, and willingness, purpose. And this is what Krishna did through this dialogue. uh, Through this dialogue. And we have heard, like, right, what pen is mightier than sword. So Krishna said, I won't pick up arms in this fight. But if we see, he's the first one to pick up the arm, right? And what arm did he pick up? Tongue, the power of speech. the power of speech. We know, right? I mean, my knowledge in every aspect is very limited, but just to little bit understand Hitler, such a revolutionary man was he. Good, bad is another thing, but was so powerful, huh, that he could um, rank up many people and put control over many people. Again, good word is another thing, the way he did another thing, but at least he had some caliber, right? Just like that. So, Krishna, he said that I'm not going to pick up arms in this battle, in this fight, but it is actually him, the first one to pick up arms, right? The tongue started speaking, and the power of speech, so potent, this sound vibration, the power of speech, the power of speaking, and the power of chanting japa, immensely powerful. So Krishna speaking with Arjuna, no doubt Arjuna would feel inspired, would feel motivated. Likewise for us, when we listen to Krishna consciousness, when we listen to the message of Krishna consciousness, uh, we would feel strongly motivated, ever inspired. When we do japa, listen to the sound vibration. It's an instant motivation and lifetime motivation with no side effect, no, with no ill effect. So, with this prayer, with this mood, with this understanding that what Arjuna went through, his realization becomes our realization. This is what we want to imbibe in life. And the more we can feel the pain of Arjuna or the context or kind of see him grow, wow, the more we can appreciate Arjuna's journey, the more we will find appreciation for this dialogue of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Uh, like, imagine, same, uh, just on this note, same, Andy Murray, right? The British sports person, plays lawn tennis, Roger Federer. Huh? Now imagine if Roger Federer is going through a big crisis, big mental blockage, and he hires some coach. And then the way he comes out of his, Roger Federer has gone to his deepest, bottomest in life, lowest in life. Huh? And he hires a coach. The world knows, okay, Roger Federer in the lowest of his life. He hires a coach. And now Roger Federer is a different person altogether. Likewise, imagine some other personality for that matter, some politician, some celebrity, some singer, Taylor Swift. Imagine she's at the lowest of her career, say. She hires some coach, and she comes to the topmost. Now that transformation, how will it shake up the current audience, say, the people around the globe? Hmm? What do you think? If people know that Roger Federer is at his lowest and he hired a coach, he had a dialogue, and now look at him, he's so different altogether. How will it impact among the masses? This is a question.
It would be touching, I think, and we would seriously um, incline towards it, probably get inspired.
Hmm. Any more? You know, do you think people, the masses, would want to know who is the coach, which is the book? That would be the bestseller book. Roger Federer at his lowest point, and look at his transformation. And Roger Federer writes a book on it, My Life Journey, say. That would be the bestseller book, won't it be? And who wouldn't want to listen to that interview? Wouldn't people say, oh, Roger Federer, bring your coach, you and your coach sit down and give us an interview? Won't that go hits? And won't people want to know who is this coach? Oh, can I also get some time from this coach? Well, he must be very expensive. But imagine if he's not so expensive. Can I get some time off from him? Can I also understand something from him? What magic did he spill over, say, Roger Federer or Taylor Swift or whosoever for that matter, that they completely changed? Nah? And if Roger Federer can go at this lowest point, say, do not celebrities come out, do not worry, like some actresses or actors come out, right? Don't worry about makeups. Don't go so much into obsession about external bodily looks and all. uh, so to give a message, so Roger Federer comes out, do not worry if you are under depression. The masses will be so pleased hearing that message, won't they? And there will be so much of inspiration, respect for Roger Federer. Then do not you think his book would be the bestseller? Do not you think people would want to see that interview, would want to make a movie out of it? And if someone gets to meet the coach, governments around the globe, big companies may want to hire that coach. So something, this is still say a bit on a mundane platform and things, and someone may say, well, it's a bit subjective or say whatever. But the thing I'm trying to help myself understand, if this had been a real life, na, Roger Federer or someone who is at the top of the league currently and goes through this experience, what would be my thing? So same ways when I understand, wow, Arjuna, top of the league at that time, you know, such moralist, such a big moralist, such a big pious person, so handsome, so charismatic, so well behaved, so cultured, so good in his administration, his warfare, everything. Such noble character, such gentleman, and came to his bottommost. But he had a dialogue with Krishna. He was all lost hope, and Krishna gave him endless hope, ever motivated, ever inspired, enthused him with so much of enthusiasm. He was oozing enthusiasm and confidence. So this is the thing, and this is the life journey of Arjuna. This can be our life journey. This is the real thing, the Bhagavad Gita and the dialogue with Krishna. And it's not any other dialogue. What Krishna is having with Arjuna is the exactly same dialogue he is having with us using Arjuna as a medium. Such a personal dialogue he is having with us. Recorded what 5,000 years ago, but so contemporary today's date, so contemporary it would have been 100 years ago, so contemporary it will be 1000 years beyond from here after here. So with this mood, with this prayer, with this understanding, hope, aspiration, expectation, yes, we should have expectation from Krishna, we should have expectations from Bhagavad Gita, why not? We should have hope from Krishna, we should have expectation from Krishna. So with this mood, prayer, hope, understanding, expectation, that what Arjuna's realization becomes our realization, and we find our highest appreciation for Bhagavad Gita, highest appreciation for the message of Krishna consciousness. Hmm. We should go on and on appreciating Bhagavad Gita, Krishna consciousness, Srimad Bhagavatam, the overall message. In spiritual world, it is not like attaining perfection in Krishna consciousness is not by doing something, it is just by desiring, merely by desiring. We don't have to be enthusiastic, we have to merely desire to be enthusiastic. Even just bringing that desire in itself wins the heart of Krishna. This is how Krishna works. Just someone desire for me. We don't need to showcase and make it work. No, not just desire, and then that wins over the heart of Krishna. But in societal terms, desire doesn't work. People want action. It's a different league altogether. So with this prayer mood aspiration again, that we ever stay motivated, ever stay inspired, ever stay on the path, on the way to Krishna. Hmm? We continue our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, text 22. So, yeah. पुरुष प्रकृतिस्थो हि भुङ्क्ते प्रकृतिजान् गुणान् कारणं गुणसङ्गस्य सदसद्योनिजन्मसु. Okay, Anuja, read translation and purport if you can. Purport, maybe read it in paragraphs. First paragraph you read, second paragraph Alexandra can read, and then Harsha can read. There are paragraphs in the purport. Yeah.
The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus he meets with good and evil among various species. This verse is very important for an understanding of how the living entities transmigrate from one body to another. It is explained in the second chapter that the living entity is transmigrating from one body to another just as one changes dress. This change of dress is due to his attachment to material existence. As long as he is captivated by this false manifestation, he has to continue transmigrating from one body to another. Due to his desire to lord Due to his desire to lord it over material nature, he is put into such undesirable circumstances. Under the influence of material desire, the entity is under the influence of material desire, entity is born sometimes as a demigod, uh,
Sometimes as a man. Um, hmm.
screen, sometimes as a man, sometimes as a beast, a bird, as a worm, as an aquatic, as a saintly man, as a bug. This is going on. And in all cases, the living entity thinks himself to be the master of all his circumstances. Yet he is under the influence of material nature.
Hmm. Lucy, read this.
How he is put into such different bodies is explained here. It is due to association with the different modes of nature. One has to rise, therefore, above the three material modes and become situated in the transcendental position. That is called Krishna consciousness. Unless one is situated in Krishna consciousness, his material consciousness will oblige him to transfer from one body to another because he has material desires since time immemorial. But he has to change that conception. That change can be effected only by hearing from authoritative sources. Best example is here. Arjuna is hearing the science of God from Krishna. The living entity, if he submits to this hearing process, will lose his long cherished desire to dominate material nature, and gradually and proportionately, as he reduces his long desire to dominate, he comes to enjoy spiritual happiness. In the Vedic mantra, it is said that as he becomes learned in association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he proportionately relishes his eternal blissful life. The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with the material desire, with that material nature. Thus he meets with good and evil among various species.
Hmm. Very powerful shloka translation purport. Hmm. Very real, very scientific. And this is such a science which is not gross. Mm. It is science which is experienced. Spirituality is not gross. It's not like can you show me God or can you do this research or that research. Hmm? It is something transformation of the heart, na? Something internal, something to experience. Mm. And everyone carries faith, everyone lives by faith. No one is like faithless. It depends where do we repose or put that faith. That is another thing. So, karanam guna sangasya sad asat yoni janmasu. Na? Sad asat as in temporary or permanent. Say, whatever we uh, experience, whatever effects I'm getting in this life, whatever is coming in to me in this life, is because what? Because of my association with material nature in previous lives. Tell something. We are chasing dreams, are we not? We are chasing desires. And the irony is we are maybe one lifetime away from our desires, or one or maybe 10 or 100 lifetimes, in the sense um, some 100 lifetimes ago I might have had some desire, which is now coming into effect. Okay, finally I have some good karma that my 100 lifetime ago what desire I had is coming now into effect. But I am getting burned currently. Why? Because the previous life I had some other desire, which is very heavy and strong, and I'm not getting that now. You see? Some 100 lifetime ago I had some desire. Okay, finally, fine, I have some good karma. This is kind of a uh, say a thought process. Mm. And that 100 lifetime ago, whatever desire I had is now coming into effect. Okay, fine, you get this job, you get this thing, whatever attachments I had, say. And in previous life, I had some more different attachments, some more stronger and different attachments, which now is burning, say, in my heart. But because it is not supported by my karma, I'm not able to have it. So karma and desires play a heavy role, heavy role. And the only way to come out of karmic entanglement is love. In love, love is an entanglement in itself for sure. Love is an entanglement, but this sort of love, no, love of Krishna and Krishna conscious love, it is not an entangling. It is freeing. It frees one. It liberates one. Otherwise, yeah, love is an entanglement, and this karmic entanglement is for sure. And the way to come out of karmic entanglement is only out of love. In love, only there is no price involved, in the sense it is not price based. Or you do your 9 to 5, and this much is your pay. No, that is not the dealing with love. We are stuck very much with our karmas and very much our desires, and then what we associate with who we associate is that what we become. It's a fact of life. What we eat is what we become. So we don't need actually to do research work, lots and lots of research work, not at all required. All the research is done. We have to be so patient, especially those who are into preaching. Very patient, very kind patience. Because you see, when people are having a tough time, say, and you tell them, please, kindly, sir, madam, kindly read Bhagavad Gita, kindly do some japa, kindly attend some programs, do some kirtan. No, it wouldn't buzz about. This is still heavy, high, reading Bhagavad Gita and kirtan and all is a high subject matter. We must genuinely pat ourselves, as we were discussing yesterday or day before, right? That we are definitely very advanced and very better off. None can take away this from us. We'll try to come this on in a bit. Huh? So, if we ask someone, please, sir, madam, dear sir, madam, kindly go vegetarian. No, what vegetarian? Where do I get protein from? Where do I get the taste from? All these things. Huh? Okay, fine. So people have so many questions, but then comes a point in their life when hearing from here, there, and it personally experiencing, and maybe Krishna blessing from inside, they tend to become vegetarian. It could be 10 years later on, and then they meet devotees. Oh yeah, Yes, vegetarian makes sense. You also become vegetarian. So devotee thinks, well, 10 years back I told you, right? The very same thing. Why didn't you take it up then? So it's about the faith. Having trusted faith, having trusted faith, of course, and if I can follow the lead of a devotee, if I follow the lead of a devotee, having trusted faith, then I will see Krishna very soon, very soon. Because we do not need to do any research. Vedas, scriptures, everything is done, all the research. Everything is already there. We just need to understand it, apply logic, of course, yes, apply our intelligence, not shy away from asking questions, but practice. Ask questions and practice. That is the process, Krishna says. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. So by submissive hearing, inquiry, and doing service, this is the way. And this is how school, college, uni, mm, office work, everything works like this. Yeah, on some gentle relationship. So like this, if we progress now in Krishna consciousness, slowly, steadily, it will sink in our heart. Definitely, provided if I'm a bit sincere, I'm a bit open, I'm a bit willing. See, no one can inspire anyone. No, no. No one can enthuse anyone. No one can motivate anyone. It has to come from within. Change has to come from within. Inspiration has to come from within. Motivation has to come from within. Uh, Arjuna was willing to be inspired. That is the beauty. He allowed himself to be inspired. He wanted to be inspired. He knew that he needed help and he asked for help. And he was kind enough to listen and take on that help. Yeah. Otherwise, as there is this common saying, right? God helps those who want to help themselves. See, family members, it pains my heart, personally speaking, and I'm sure every devotee's heart it pains way though more than what pains my heart. When we see people in Glasgow, in York, in Scotland, in England, in UK, in America, India, having a life, what good life? Born, school, college, uni, friends, family, uh, children, house, car, good health, good holidays, good money, retirement, everything. And what? From top of the world to out of this world with hardly any Krishna consciousness. How many people exit? How many humans exit this world with hardly any Krishna consciousness? So painful, is it not? Such a valuable opportunity. If I check within my friend circle, within my family circle, uh, sir, please chant, please read. No, no, I have this family problem. My spouse, my partner is not fine, my wife is not fine, my husband is not fine. Quarrel, agreement, and disagreement, or too fine, we don't need it. Or business, money, so where? And maybe 5 years down the line, some people, unfortunately, they cannot understand throughout the life. It has to be next life, very painfully. uh, And some people maybe 5 years, 10 years, 2 years. But and again, it is not like pointing a finger or someone. No, no, definitely not. But the point is, we shouldn't be. There's no research work needed. As long as we can follow the lead of a devotee, we can put some faith, trust, follow Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, do japa, and check for ourselves. Otherwise, society and scientists and this world, academic world, what it gives us, as Prabhupada used to say, post-dated check. We know what post-dated check means, like a check, but you will receive the money which is post-dated, like something for 15th February. So this is what there are some in the academic world people who believe they can make a medicine, a tablet that people will go ageless. There won't be any wrinkles or anything of those sorts. People will stop growing old. So much so people will stop dying. And there are people who believe this, common masses who believe this, and they're willing to support this cause by giving some donation and money. Yeah, carry on with your research. One day we will find cure. So this is false promise or post ethics check. One day we will find cure for this disease. One day we will find cure for that disease. One day we will find cure for that. But until that time comes, keep dying. You know? While living, die, and one day finally die. But that is not Bhagavad Gita culture. No, no. We are not meant to die. That is not our destination. This should be very clear. Huh? See, s- we should tell each other daily, tell to yourself, I'm not meant to die. That is not my destination. Huh? We are not practicing Krishna consciousness to avoid that or to meet that or worry about that. No way. No. We are done with that. We should be. Now is just time is separating. We are trying to prepare ourselves. We are trying to prepare ourselves. We are trying to train ourselves. We must try our best to train and prepare ourselves to come over my desires, material, to come over my mind, mundane material, to come over my material attachments. Or I'm trying to prepare myself to the best of my ability, to chant more, to chant nicely, to read, hear, to give a good fair shot in the practice of Krishna consciousness. This is where sadhaka wants to head. This is where he is heading. So, as we were discussing yesterday, day before, last few days, what is more shocking? Someone practicing Krishna consciousness, is that a shocking, or someone quitting Krishna consciousness, as in someone continuing to practice Krishna consciousness, or someone practicing Krishna consciousness for 30 years and then quitting Krishna consciousness, and someone not practicing Krishna consciousness. Hmm. There is no shock if my brother or sister is not practicing Krishna consciousness. No big shock. What's the big shock? What's the big thing about it? If my parents are not practicing, if my friends are not practicing. But if I see my brother or sister practicing, and for myself, if I see myself practicing, oh my God, I did it one full year. I'm into second year, I'm still continuing to practice Krishna consciousness. That is very shocking. Wow. Meaning is so valuable. Krishna consciousness is so precious, it's so rare, it is so sweet, it is so charming that a dull head like myself, huh, that a philosophically blind person, unintelligent person like myself, I'm still able to continue practice Krishna consciousness. Wow. That a person as mundane as myself and practicing Krishna consciousness. Wow. And if someone quits Krishna consciousness, say practicing 40 years also, what is the big deal? Hmm? Someone practiced for 40 years. Wow, great, great. Hmm. So the shock is not someone quitting Krishna consciousness or not someone practicing. The shock is someone continuing to practice Krishna consciousness. Wow, amazing, amazing. So the whole whatever I am today is because of how I associated with material nature, how I associated with the modes of material nature. Look, one thing, Maya does two jobs. Maya has two jobs only. What? To test and tempt. Temptations and test. Huh? Maya is going, but for a living entity who has not yet found his interest or inquisitiveness, resolve is a big thing, interest or inquisitiveness in the practice of Krishna consciousness, Maya doesn't even test them, Maya doesn't even tempt them. Because there's nothing to do, Baba. They're already in Maya. And the irony is they do not even know that they are in Maya. Hmm? And for me, I am in Maya and I now know that I am in Maya. This is knowledge. We sadhakas, we should definitely tell ourselves we are in the category of knowledge. at least we realize I am not this body, I am a spirit soul. So this is knowledge. We understand, we know this, even though theoretically, but we are convinced. Someone who doesn't even know this is blissfully ignorant. uh, is living in information, in the world of information. And now is the journey from knowledge to wisdom, becoming wise. So Bhagavad Gita is that journey for us practicing. We is the journey from knowledge to wise, to becoming wise, to wisdom. So, and this is where the challenge is. This is where so Maya has these two things only, to test and to tempt. Now, someone who is in ignorance or someone who is living in the world of information, for who is living in bodily consciousness, Maya has nothing to test, nothing to tempt. He's already in Maya and he's happy about it. So why to worry about him? huh? But for someone like us who are trying to overcome Maya, then Maya becomes a bit, watches us. hmm? Maya then keeps an eye on us and tests us and tempt us. Look, this is a fact of life. This is a reality of life. Please check it, observe it. Maya never catches a living entity. Maya never catches a living entity. Maya only tempts or tests, but never catches a living entity. It is a living entity who himself or herself catches Maya, adopts Maya. Hmm? Maya never catches or adopts a living entity. Maya only tests and tempts. To give an example, Audi car. Audi car could be automatic also, but it will never come into my house and park it itself. Audi car is there just in the showroom, very sleekly designed, very nicely, neatly designed, very shiny, posh, standing there to attract me, to tempt me, to test me, to influence me. है ना? But never ever it on its own will come and sit in my house. It is the living entity who gets tempted or attracted by the test influence and says, yes, how much is this Audi car for? What are the payment situations? Okay, I can do something from my finance. I can get a bank loan. I can do that's it. Then all the contemplation and everything that I get this car. है ना? A dress hung up on a shop. It is there only to tempt the person, to test the person. Dress never jumps out from whatever that is called. Dress never jumps out from the shop and goes into the hand of the lady. No. It is just the lady who sees the dress and says, oh wow, it would look good on me, would it? Let me try, let me see. Nice color, whatnot, and things like that around that, and goes and buys the dress. Likewise, Maya is what? Inert. Na? Material energy is inert matter, na? Inert matter. So inert matter cannot catch a spirit soul, but inert matter has the potency to influence and test the spirit soul. This is what the shloka is. Karanam guna sangasya sadasadyoni janmashu. Janmashu. Since time immemorial or in eternity, we have an interconnection with the material nature. So another thing, and we are conditioned since eternity, but we need not be conditioned until eternity. Is it not? I'm living a miserable conditioned life. This is knowledge to know that I'm living a miserable conditioned life. This is a great advancement. Howsoever miserably conditioned life we must be living, you know, but this is a great advancement than someone who is for whom ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss is for whom? A goat, for an animal. How? We have seen, right? Goat, you give goat some grass in front of him, and eating grass. 10 goats lined up all together and give them grass. They all are eating grass. Take one goat in, the butcher takes in, and what? Mercilessly kills the goat. And the other goat, they are blissful in ignorance. Oh, it happened to the other goat, may not happen to me. Or even if they know, they are just distracted, blissfully in ignorant. But us, I know, my God, I am having such trouble. My mind senses all over the place. And the threefold miseries, trouble from my own body, own mind, own desires, own attachment, trouble from our other living entities. है My friends poking me, family members, strangers poking me, boss disturbing me, all these things. And then trouble from material nature in the form of too much rain, too little rain, too much heat, too less heat, uh, all these things. So, a conditioned soul who realizes his miserableness is a awakened soul, is a soul in knowledge. And now is a transfer, is a journey. How can I go from conditioned stage to unconditioned stage or to my original stage, wherein no more miseries, pure love, pure joy. Uh, So Maya never catches a living entity. It is a living entity only who willingly goes and catches Maya, perhaps out of lack of knowledge or frustration or even knowingly still wants to, because struggling to maintain his focus or enthusiasm, distracted, getting carried away. And this is why we need good association. No one can progress in life until one has a good, inspiring association. This is the crux of the matter. Hmm. This is the crux of the matter. See, Krishna consciousness is philosophy culture together. It is a marriage of philosophy and culture. Na? हाँ? व्यवहारिक जीवन, हाँ? कोई किताबी this is not bookish knowledge. This is practical living knowledge, practical wisdom. So um, this practical living wisdom, na Krishna consciousness. So again on those lines, Maya never adopts a jiva. It is a jiva who himself or herself say goes and adopts Maya, thinking that I will be happy. This is what, since eternity we have been so much influenced by material nature. Uh, Even though inert energy, still it has the power to influence us. Though soul is a higher power, but gets influenced by lower power, matter, because it associates so much with matter identity, so much with matter identity, bodily identity, mental platform, mental identity. I tell one thing, kindly correct or see for observation. See, Bhagavad Gita wants us to be contemplative. If we want to avoid distraction in life, na, and if we want vairagya, detachment, which is a great achievement, if we want knowledge, again it's a high level, yeah? And if we want bhakti, very high level, we have to be a bit contemplative, a bit observing, a bit looking into the subtle forces of life. Huh? Only then we can see the nakedness and the futility of material life, then we can easily shun it away. We need not get, we won't get interested by it. We can say no to Maya only then. And then we can develop more intense detachment and knowledge and loving devotional service. So, being contemplative. uh, So, again, Maya catches living entity. Entity never go. Sorry, Maya never catches living entity. Living entity himself goes and catches Maya. Now we have been stuck in this world since eternity, but we need not be stuck until eternity. And this life gives us an opportunity to get through once for all. This is no fairy tale. This is no imagination. This is something to be experienced. This is something to be realized. This is something what Bhagavad Gita is saying. This is something what Veda scriptures say. uh, And this can be put into practice, put to test. Yes, we should. We should. So the whole struggle and fight is with no one else but with one's own conditioning, with my own conditioning. Because since time immemorial, since eternity, I've had such close association with material nature that I have a very strong affinity and bond towards it. So again, see, observe this in a reality of life. Check it out, please. Material life means material happiness. Material happiness means happiness is in the contemplation. Huh? Most of the happiness is in the contemplation. Contemplating what? Oh, when I become big, I will be through school, I will go to college or uni, I will be more free. I won't be living with my parents then. I'll be going to a college or uni, different city, town, living with my friends, living a free life. And when I go school, college, uni, I will make a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I'll buy this, buy that, dresses and all, and then get a job. So everything is in the contemplation. How much do we enjoy that happiness in the moment? When in the job, how much happiness do we enjoy? When in um, studies and all things, general life affairs, how much do we really relish? How much do we really enjoy? Most of the time, like we may check, we are just providing shelter to each other, giving support to each other. So material happiness means more in the contemplation. I'm not saying it is all in the contemplation. There's some happiness, but it is very flickering. It is very low in quantity or intensity too. This is why I always feel hungry, because I am a higher entity soul, and matter, it is incompatible. It cannot saturate me. I'm always hungry, wanting more. And what to do out of frustration? When in frustration, I go for cheap pleasure. Cheap pleasure, woman, wealth, and wine. Yeah? So that is conditioning, deep rooted, and struggle is to fight with one's own conditioning. But help is sarvatra, help is everywhere for someone who wants to be helped, someone who really wants to be helped. And the real best help is devotee association. Japa is strong help. uh, Books are strong help. Reading, hearing is strong help. Kirtan strong help. Some practical services strong help. But the real guiding force is uh, devotee association. This is a philosophy, a culture, a living wisdom, a practice. We do not live in isolation. We do not want to live in isolation. It's not that I've got the books, okay, I do not need anymore. I will just study myself. I've got YouTube, I can listen myself. I've got the feedback, I can chant myself. No, this is loving reciprocation. We want to be in that bonding with devotees, in that behavior with devotees. So, any thoughts, questions, or comment? There's one more reality of life actually, but maybe another day I will share. That can come across a bit more sharp, perhaps. So maybe we'll leave it for another day. Uh, But this is a fact of life. Check it out, please. Maya never catches a living entity. We have a problem of putting blame. Oh, Maya caught me. Time caught me. My karmas are struggling. My desire. The Bhagavad Gita teaches us to take ownership, to take responsibility for my own action. It is I. No one can cheat me. No one can cheat me. And I also cannot cheat anyone. It is me only who can cheat myself. I am only cheating myself. Otherwise, no one can cheat me. No. So Maya just two jobs: test and tempt. And Maya is helping us, prepare us, getting us ready to take Krishna consciousness. But Maya's help is a bit of a different style of help. Uh, It is like a slap in the wrist and come on, go practice Krishna consciousness. And in India, they don't slap in the wrist, they sometimes slap in the cheek as well. Come on, go take Krishna consciousness. that way. And Yog Maya, Krishna's internal energy or devotees, they also want us to practice Krishna consciousness, but their way of encouraging, inspiring is completely different from the way of Maya. No? Maya is also encouraging, inspiring us to take on. Maya also wants us to take Krishna consciousness, but she's beating us up and then telling us, look, you have been beaten so much. Now get awakened. Now wake up. Take into Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Just like prisoners, na? Sometimes some hard sentence, beaten up, so that now purify and go outside in society. So Maya is also trying, wants us to become Krishna consciousness by beating us up. Okay, सुधर जाओ, है ना? मार खा के माया थपेड़े मार मार के भैया आप सुधर जाओ और भक्त बनो. So Maya does like that. And devotees, they very lovingly, caringly, sweet concern, care, understandingly, emotion wise, every wise, they encourage us to practice Krishna consciousness, inspire us to practice Krishna consciousness. So, whosoever comes in my life is doing a favor on me. Whatever news I receive in my life is a favor. If I have the right association, I can see it as the call of Krishna to make me come closer to Him, to get through my mundane desires and everything. So devotee association is the key. It's definitely the key. Any thoughts, questions, or comments? Okay, thank you for hanging on so far. Let us see one more. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Wow, beautiful. Upad, so nice, yeah. उपद्रष्टानुमन्ता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वर परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो देऽस्मिन् पुरुष पर. Okay, Harsha ji, read translation, and Alexandra, if you can read purport, otherwise Anuja read purport. Harsha, are you okay to read translation?
Yeah, I'm okay to read. Yes. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul.
Anuja, if you are still awake and can read, then read purport. Okay, Harsha, आप पढ़ो purport.
It is stated here that the super soul, who is always with the individual soul, is the representation of the Supreme Lord. He is not an ordinary living entity. Because the monist philosophers take the knower of the body to be one, they think that there is no difference between the super soul and the individual soul. To clarify this, the Lord says that he is represented as the Paramatma in every body. He is different from the individual soul. He is para, transcendental. The individual soul enjoys the activities of a particular field, but the super soul is present not as finite enjoyer, nor as one taking part in bodily activities, but as the witness, overseer, permitter, and the supreme enjoyer. His name is Paramatma, not Atma, and he is transcendental. It is distinctly clear that the Atma and Paramatma are different. The super soul, the Paramatma, has legs and hands everywhere, but the individual soul does not. And because the Paramatma is the Supreme Lord, he is present within to sanction the individual soul's desiring material enjoyment. Without the sanction of the Supreme Soul, the individual soul cannot do anything. Without the sanction of the Supreme Soul, the individual soul cannot do anything. The individual is Bhukta, or the sustained, and the Lord is Bhokta, or the maintainer. There are innumerable living entities, and he is staying in them as a friend. The fact is that every individual living entity is eternally part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and both of them are very intimately related as friends. But the living entity has the tendency to reject the sanction of the Supreme Lord and act independently in an attempt to dominate nature. And because he has this tendency, he is called the marginal energy of the Supreme Lord.
And Lucy, you read maybe from here, huh? If you can. Okay, Harsha, maybe you continue.
The living entity can be situated either in the material energy or in the spiritual energy. As long as he is conditioned by the material energy, the Supreme Lord, as his friend, the Super Soul, stays with him just to get him to return to the spiritual energy. The Lord is always eager to take him back to the spiritual energy. But due to his minute independence, the individual entity is continually rejecting the association of spiritual light. This misuse of independence is the cause of his material strife in the conditioned nature. This misuse of independence is the cause of his material strife in the conditioned nature. The Lord, therefore, is always giving instruction from within and from without. From without, he gives instructions as stated in Bhagavad Gita. And from within, he tries to convince the living entity that his activities in the material field are not conducive to real happiness. Just give it up and turn your faith toward me. Then you will be happy, he says. Thus, the intelligent person who places his faith in the Paramatma or the Supreme Lord Thus, the intelligent person who places his faith in the Paramatma or the Supreme Personality of Godhead begins to advance toward a blissful eternal life of knowledge.
Lucy, if you're there and can read translation, then read. Yeah.
Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the Supreme Proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the Super Soul.
Who exists as the overseer and permitter. Okay. Harsha or Lucy, would you be able to share screen actually? And let us read the next also, translation and purport. And then we try to discuss a bit, huh? 24 number. Harsha, would you be able to share screen, or Lucy, would you be able to share screen and see him? And
I won't be able to do it now. I mean,
okay,
it will
that's
take
fine.
time. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I can share, and yeah, I can still continue. य एवं वेत्ति पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च गुणैः सह सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि न स भूयोऽभिजायते. Lucy, read translation, Shapapot.
One who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, and the interaction of the modes of nature is sure to attain a liberation. He will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position.
Clear understanding of material nature, the supreme, the super soul, the individual soul, and their interrelation makes one eligible to become liberated and turn to the spiritual atmosphere without being forced to return to this material nature. This is the result of knowledge. The purpose of knowledge is to understand distinctly that the living entity has by chance fallen into this material existence. The purpose of knowledge is to understand distinctly that the living entity has by chance fallen into this material existence. By his personal endeavor in association with authorities, saintly persons, and a spiritual master, he has to understand his position and then revert to spiritual consciousness or Krishna consciousness by understanding Bhagavad Gita as it is explained by the personality of Godhead. Then it is certain that he will never come again into this material existence. He will be transferred into the spiritual world for a blissful eternal life of knowledge. One who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, and the interaction of the modes of nature is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position.
Sure. How did you find the translation purport? This one and the previous one. Very motivating, inspiring translation purport. On its own, just someone reads na Prabhupada's books, translation purports, revolutionary. And what life is it if there has not been revolution? See, again, I say many, there are two things. One is living and another is existing. Huh? Two different things. We do not want to exist, we want to live. Existing is what? Existing is what? To struggle to find where is food, where is shelter, है where is sense gratification, entertainment, mm, where is yeah bodily sense gratification, that way, and where is defense protection. So that is existing, huh? And living is what? Living is coming to beyond ahar nidra bhay maithun. No? Living is like coming beyond the say the temptations or the control of, or not just like eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Yes, coming beyond that thing. So we are meant for having a revolution in our life actually, and see so many people, millions and billions, millions, billions, uh, human form of life, but throughout the life been what existing just on eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. What sort of life is this? It should pain someone very much. Wow. So, like 24, right? Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer who is the Lord. Tell you one thing, see how you find this definition of Lord. Lord me Lord means the love of my life. Yeah? Nath, Nath, है ना? Lord, Swami, Pati. ना? So Lord, my sweet Lord, the love of my life. That is what we should understand with Lord. Not just like, yes, definitely master, caretaker, maintainer, provider, those things, you know, our Father who art in heaven, sort of thing. Yeah, that is there, awe and reverence or say. But Lord meaning the love of my life. Hmm? So that is what we want. So the translation says, right? Yet in this body there is another transcendental enjoyer who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor who exists as the overseer. What does overseer mean? Uh, Harsha, Lucy, others. Any thoughts? What does overseer mean?
Someone who looks over what someone's doing.
Hmm. So same or similar is what Krishna does. We are never in isolation. We live together, and Krishna is with us, constant companion. Krishna is our constant companion. He knows us way much better than I know myself. An overseer is like there's mentioned in Vedic scriptures, in Vedic literature, in Prabhupada's purpose, like in one bird there, in one tree there are two birds, not in one bird there are two trees. In one tree there are say two birds, one small bird and one big bird. Now the big bird is what? Patiently just watching, just overseeing the small bird. And the small bird is quite restless, impatient, jumping and hopping across branches, trying to find food. See, some birds, na, they are always on the move. They're never still. They're always shaking, walking, running here, there. Where is food? Where is food? Again, where is food? Where is shelter? Where is meat? Where is defend? You know, eating, sleeping, making, defending. And then the big bird in the tree, patiently overseeing and just watching. Who is that big bird? Krishna. Who is the small bird? Us. So many branches of desires we have got, so many jumping and hopping. How many desires we got fulfilled also in this life? Still, we feel like we feel ourselves short, we feel insufficient, you know, we feel empty. बट ये प्रसाद है पूरे सर्व्यास है ना in Guru Vandana when we sing that once we are blessed by a divine personality, then by his blessings all the material desires are gone. All the material desires are gone. This is the kripa. If we want to give mercy to someone, the best mercy to give someone is like take away all his material desires. This is what Krishna does. huh? Krishna says that uh, कृष्ण कहे आमे भजे मागे विषय सुख कृष्ण कहे आमा भजे मागे विषय सुख विष छाड़ी अमृत मांगी अमृत छाड़ी विष मांगी यही बड़ो मूर्ख. So Chaitanya Chaitamrit we see this. What Krishna says, Mahaprabhu says that a living entity says that he's worshipping me but asking for what matter. Such an irony. Worshipping Krishna and asking matter. Imagine like someone living in London and like worshipping the Queen and asking what? Can you just grant me one sort of flat somewhere? Such a small thing to ask. I mean, if you're worshipping the Queen and you get an opportunity to see the Queen and you get to be friendly with the Queen, ask a residence for in the palace with the Queen. Huh? But asking for such a small, cheap, flickering thing. So Krishna says, he's worshipping me, but look, he's asking matter from me. है ना? How many times we might have asked things from Krishna, but did we ever ask Krishna from Krishna? Did we ever ask Krishna from Krishna? The best thing to ask Krishna from is ask for Krishna himself. है ना? Ask for his love, ask for his heart, ask for his friendship association. But we never ask on those lines. If at all we ask what? Give us our daily bread. Is it not? We ask Krishna, but what do we ask for? Matter, job, health, family, money. I like this girl, I like that boy, I like this house, I like that house. I want this dress, I want this holiday. Matter only by and large what we ask. So Krishna says, Ama bhaje, Krishna kahe, Ama bhaje mange vishay sukh, worshipping me but asking temporary material sense gratification. Asking what? Again, ahar, nidra, bhay, maithun, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. But I am intelligent. Ami Vigya. Ei Murkhe Vishay Kehne Debo. I am intelligent. Why will I give poison, material sense gratification poison to this conditioned soul? He is worshipping me. I will give him the nectar of my devotional service, the joy in practicing Krishna consciousness. That ways he will be through with his material desires. Yeah? So this is the how Krishna treats us. We go to Krishna not to become Krishna conscious, but Krishna knows only one thing to make one Krishna conscious. This is what devotee association. We might be associating with devotees for whatever reasons, but devotees they just give love of Krishna only. They offer the highest thing, highest thing. So overseer, the big bird is the overseer, watching the workings of the small bird who is so busy, so occupied, so restlessly engaged everything. Yeah? And then this big bird is patiently wanting some attention of the small bird. When does the small bird turn to me? When does he shake his hands with me? When does he want a relationship with me? That is what Krishna residing as Paramatma in our heart, always guiding us, permitter also, na? So he knows what our desires are and he's trying to help us. Look, you desired something, you desired 100 lifetime ago, but now you can fructify your desire, you can make it happen. You have the supporting karma for it. Do you want to go for it? This much Krishna loves us that he allows me to be rascal. This is love. Yeah? And at the same time, he has done everything arrangement that I do not remain a rascal. He doesn't want me to be a rascal, but what do I do if I myself want to be loitering in this world? So help comes to one who wants to help himself. Help cannot be forced upon, right? A government has set up. mm Everyone is a refugee in this world, but government has set up for Ukrainians help. But if someone doesn't want to come to the help, then how can we? There's in many offices everywhere, right? There's this information center. But if I do not want to go to the information center, what can be done? All inspiration is there, provided if I want to become inspired. So liberation, the doors of the kingdom of Godhead are open, provided do I want to walk through that door? Do I really want to give up material attachment? Hmm? So here Krishna is not forcing us. He's just playing a neutral role and helping us, facilitating our desires and also helping us frustrate from our desire. है ना? Facilitating. And through that facilitation, he's helping us get frustrated from our desires. One prayer to ask for Krishna actually in 11th canto we see. No, yeah. Shrimad Bhagavatam 11 to 36. Very nice purport by Prabhupada's disciples. And we see in there four prayers. One of the prayers is in the purport is Krishna kindly help me see misfortune, misery and pain in material sense gratification. Kindly help me see that. We struggle to see the hardship, the pain, the poison. So kindly help me see death and poison in my material attachments and sense gratification. So this is what we should be praying to Krishna. Okay, on this note, maybe I give you peace. Any questions, thoughts, comments, or clarification, or any addition? A bit late to subtract now, though. So thank you very much. You all keep my job pretty much easy, simple. Do not bother me much. Do not hassle me much. And again, thank you for your kind participation, encouragement, inspiration. The highest struggle, greatest struggle is to stay motivated, to stay inspired, and very difficult is to motivate or inspire someone. Very, very difficult to for oneself to stay motivated and to inspire someone, and that also in pure Krishna consciousness, in spirituality, in Krishna consciousness. So if we keep Bhagavad Gita in our life, holy name in our life, chanting the Mahamantra, reading, hearing, listening to Kirtan, devotee association, we will always find ourselves nourished. And yes, Maya never catches a living entity, only tempts and tests. Jiva only catches Maya temptations, temporary temptations, and because of frustration, because of uh, cheap pleasure and feeling oneself a bit burnt out. Okay, fine, whatever, I will do it. Just do it. I will go through it. Even though I know, nah, after drinking, I may have headache. Even though I know doing this thing, I will feel some remorse or guilt. But no, fine, I go it. This is all lack of good association. Conditioning is strong, very strong. Definitely, we are very less powerful, so we get easily overpowered, influenced. But help is also there for everyone. uh, we can never afford to think negative or low of ourselves. We have to be our well wisher. Definitely, we have to be good friends with ourselves to begin with. So, on this note, we give our study a rest for today and we continue tomorrow, same time. Thank you again very much for your patient listening and kind encouragement. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.